Okay, here's one way that we can start to set up our FactSet comparison screens. There are a number of different ways we're going to be able to do this. If we go to the screening tab up the top, we've got universal screening. I'm going to hit start a screen here and we'll start up our basic screen. I'm going to put in JBH because I want JB Hi-Fi. I'm going to click on S&P 500 because I don't want that. I'll put in Super Retail Group. I won't do that. I'll put in Super Retail Group and I'll put in good old Harvey Norman. Okay, so I've got my three companies. Now down on the bottom here, I'm going to start putting in tabs. And first thing I might do is return on equity. I'll add that in. And hopefully we'll get an ROE coming up here on tab 1. Okay. I'll then put on our new tab, let's put in sales, 1 year sales growth. Let's add that. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully we'll get a sales growth. And we've got that. So we can start setting up our comparisons. It's kind of still not on the one screen, so not as neat as I'd like it to be, but at least we're getting there. So this is one way that we can start setting up sort of comparison screens. Another way of doing it looks like if we go via the industry tab up the top. Now, again, this is going to be doing it over a whole kind of GIC sector rather than on company by company. So now we've got a bunch of ratios for the electronic and appliance stores. But if I click on that, it tells me that I've only got 2 companies in here. So I might want to have a look at retail trade or electronics and then start to build up the comparison companies that way. So this is going back to the screening chart, but using a slightly different way of getting here. So now I've got all of the retail trade and I can then start adding in search items here. So I can kind of drag in revenue, drag in other financials, and presumably can set up my companies and screen that way, then can have a look and see what I come up with. Okay, market cap, revenue. So it's still not as neat as I'd like it to be, but we're kind of getting there. So if you have a play about, or if anyone in fact knows the most efficient way of kind of just generating a table of comparison ratios, that's what we're kind of after at this point.